Welcome one and all to another Overrated review. I am Bradley Overrated, and today we are discussing the game Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair. And man, did I love this game. I am so excited to talk about this right now, but real quick before I jump into the review, I just want to say that if you haven't played the first game, you need to play the first game because there are spoilers in the second game that relate to the first game. So just a heads up for anyone interested in the series, and now let's begin. And Danganronpa 2 is crazy, guys. I mean, crazy, bonkers, like, wow, they went there. In the first game, for example, you wake up and you want to go to a school, and then Monokuma shows up and he wants you to murder all of your fellow classmates. No big deal. A typical day, apparently, in any Japanese high school game you play, if it's not a dating simulator, that is. But in this game, it gives you that same premise, but this time, you wake up and you're on a tropical island and there's a magical rabbit that wants you to get along, and no, I am not joking when I say that. And this rabbit, by the way, is named Usami, and she's just so weird, and you can't understand why she wants you all to get along, and she wants you to collect all these things called hope fragments, and if you collect all of the hope fragments, you graduate and can leave the island. Well, Monokuma shows up, beats up Usami, changes her to a new character, apparently, named Monami, and now he wants you to, once again, in order to leave the island, you have to kill one of your fellow classmates and get away with it. If you can get away with it, the rest of the class will be punished and you will leave the island. But if you can't get away with it, you will be punished, aka executed, and your fellow classmates will be allowed to continue to live. And just like the first game, it goes from 0 to 60, from 60 to 100, and just goes there. Except I would argue that the second game goes even further. This story is crazy. And while I personally like the setting of the first game better, I have to admit that this second game definitely kept me on my toes a lot more, because I can't spoil anything, but the ending just really makes your head hurt and makes you go, what on earth did I just experience? But ultimately, in the end, I do have to say the ending was satisfactory immensely. I enjoyed this entire campaign from left to right. I thought the character development was excellent. I loved all of these characters just like I loved the first game. It is still a well done game from head to toe, and praises all around to Spike Chunsoft. They know how to keep you on your toes. But it's not all just rainbows and sunshine for this game. There were two main gripes I have with this game. The first one is there are some logical issues I have with the story in and of itself, but due to the fact that it is related to the story, I don't want to spoil anything for you. But the other gripe I have is in this game, you switch between a first-person point of view of movement and a 2D style point of view when you move around. But throughout this island, you will be moving everywhere, leveling up your character, which doesn't really do much for you. But during this time when you're walking, you have to take care of this pet. This stupid, annoying pet that I really hate taking care of because I always have to clean up after its poop, and I felt like all the time I was constantly just stopping in the middle of what I was doing to make sure that my animal's poop was clean. You can also give it presents, and it'll reward you eventually with, some Monokuma coins, which you can use to buy presents to give to your fellow classmates or back to the pet itself. But it was just such a hassle taking care of this guy. I really didn't enjoy that at all. So what do I think of Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair? Do I think it is an awesome game that gives you enough bang for your buck? Yes, absolutely. Danganronpa 2 is amazing from so many different aspects. Like I said, if you enjoy a good soundtrack, a good murder mystery essentially, an improved class trial system, do you enjoy collectibles, do you enjoy character developments, do you enjoy surprise endings, well then Danganronpa 2's got you covered. This game is awesome. I am so happy that I have played this game. It's one of my favorites. I love the Danganronpa series, and I am pleased to give Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair an A-. And at first I thought about giving it a B+, just like the first game. But there are some things that this game did better than, the first one, but there are also some things that it didn't quite live up to. But ultimately, in the end, I feel like they tried really hard to make this bigger and better. You can definitely see the effort that went into this game. You can definitely tell they tried to improve a lot of the systems, especially in the class trial department, and I really appreciate that. There were some moments where I felt like, the plot also kind of dragged along a little bit, but ultimately in the end, after spending 15 or so hours finishing out this game, I just want to jump back in. It's just so fun and crazy, and I want to see if there's anything I missed or if there's little hints about certain parts of the story. It's a lot of fun, and if you haven't played any of these games, I highly recommend you try them, but start with the first one. Alright guys, that's it for me. Hopefully I was able to explain what this game is about and what it offers to some sort of decent sense. I mean, it's just so crazy. It's really hard to talk about all of the things this game offers, but that's also kind of why I love it. It's something different compared to whatever you usually play. It's a really unique experience, and I love it for that. Alright guys, that's it for me. I am Bradley Overrated, out like a trout. Have a good one.
He also met a Monami lion who was missing her courage, so he pumped her full of arrows.